RKB Coffee, and today I'm going to show you how to brew coffee the Turkish way. We're going to learn how to make Turkish coffee. Turkish coffee is one of my favorite ways to drink it. I haven't had it since leaving Turkey and Kyrgyzstan many years ago. And so now I'm excited to learn how to do it, and I'm going to teach you how to do it as well. So here are the things you need to make Turkish coffee. First of all, you need Turkish coffee cups. These are tiny little, almost like espresso cups, super tiny, mostly made out of porcelain. You're going to need your coffee spoons to stir your coffee with. But most importantly, you're going to need a Turkish coffee pot called an ibrik. It's usually made out of copper, but they are made out of other metals as well. And then you are going to need your Turkish coffee. Now, Turkish coffee is recommended not to use dark roast, but to use a medium roast, because Turkish coffee makes very strong coffee, but you also need to have it flour fine. It needs to be as fine a grind as you can get. You can buy it in stores that way, you can do it with your own grinder, or you can have me do it for you. So it's got to be super fine coffee. You also need sugar, if you like sugar in your coffee. Some people do, some people don't. I actually do not prefer sugar in my Turkish coffee. I like the strong taste, but we're gonna make it with sugar just to show you how it goes. All right, and now we're ready to start. All right, so the first step you wanna do is for every cup that you wanna make of coffee, so if I'm making coffee for 2 people, I'm gonna fill up the small coffee cups with water for 2 people to pour in the pot. So however many cups you can make depends on the size of your coffee pot. So then you add your sugar. So we're just gonna add a little bit of sugar to it, and you don't wanna stir it. You just wanna let the sugar go down to the bottom and dissolve. So we'll put a little more since we're having 2 cups. Now, I have white granular sugar. You can use any type of sugar you want. All right, then you're gonna wanna take your coffee and you're gonna wanna use a heaping teaspoon for every cup of coffee you're gonna make. So we're gonna make 2 cups of coffee, so we're gonna use 2 heaping teaspoons. Oops, make a little bit of a mess. And again, you don't want to stir it. That's one of the important things about Turkish coffee, is that you want to let it settle on its own at first. So now we're going to take this over to the stove and heat it up. Okay, so you're going to put your coffee pot over low heat to let it start heating up. And as it starts to heat up, the coffee will start falling into the water, and that is when you can stir it. So we're gonna wait just a few minutes and let it start doing its thing, and then we will stir it. All right, so now that it's starting to fall into the water a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and stir it. We're gonna stir it up really well. And then we're not going to touch it again until it starts to foam. All right, you can see right here that it's starting to foam up just a little bit. So now you're going to just start watching it to make sure that it doesn't boil over. And this is the tricky part for me for Turkish coffee, is making sure that it doesn't boil over. To make sure it doesn't boil over, you just keep turning the heat down. You want to keep your heat on low the whole time. And you see it's starting to bubble now. And as it boils over like that, you just lift it up off the heat, because that's exactly what you don't want to happen. And then once it calms back down, you put it back down on the heat for a little bit. But this is the bubbling action you want. And then take that away from the heat. With this first boil, you're gonna come over here and you're gonna take some of that cream that just came off, that boiled up, and you're gonna put that in your cup for later. So you're gonna take the creme, the foam, and put that in the bottom of your cup. And then you're gonna bring it back to the heat and let it boil up one more time, keeping your heat low. This isn't a fast process. This is not a Monday morning brewing method. But you can see that it's starting to bubble again. We are getting a little smoke where it boiled over there, but that's all right. That could happen to you too. And there it goes. It's starting to really go now. And once it starts doing that and forming a second foam, then you know it's ready. And you don't want it to go too long because you don't want it to burn. Just like any other brewing method, you can burn it. So we're going to turn the heat off on that and bring it right back over here to our cups. And this time, we're going to try to do this without burning ourselves. You're going to pour the coffee in the pot, in the cup, on top of the creme that you put in earlier. Perfect. A little more in this one. And you want to pour slowly because you don't want to break that creme too much. All right, now, if you were taking this with, we're not going to put our lids on, but if you were taking it, you could take it to keep it warm. You have your little candy dish. Turkish coffee is always good with some Turkish delight, and you should always serve it with a glass of water as well. The glass of water is to clean your palate before taking your first sip of Turkish coffee. So let's try it. And now your coffee's ready, so you take your sip of water to clean your palate, and then enjoy your cup of Turkish coffee. Dark, rich, a little bit sugary because of the sugar, but very good. So just a little word of advice. When you're drinking your Turkish coffee, don't guzzle it because your grounds are going to be in the bottom of your cup. It's going to look like sludge in the bottom, and you don't want to drink that. In Turkey, someone will take your cup and read your fortune. But here, I just scrape them in the garbage.